is an LXM podcast. We're all here talking about Lost Ark. We all started playing. We got Corpse and Deke and Dark here with me, Death by Pink, and we're talking about our first impressions on the game we've played so far. We haven't gotten quite to endgame yet, but just talking about everything that we've experienced so far.
Yeah, so essentially the concept of this first video is kind of our first impressions now that we've been playing for a week or 2 weeks, whatever it's been.
Came out February 8th.
So about,
Head start.
10 days
Oh,
in.
so just over 10 days. So in just over 10 days, I hit level 50. You guys are about to hit level 50. Pink started late. So Pink started when the official launch happened. So roughly, it's taken us about 10 days to get to level 50. From everything that I've seen and heard, this is when the game actually starts, which is kind of wild to think about because we just grinded all the way to 50. And like I've played a bunch of MMOs. I would say the most prominent one was Final Fantasy 14. I played in the alpha and 1.0 and then played all of the new shit. But by the time it got, that game got good, it was I was already behind the eight ball. So I was feeling like I was having to grind a lot in that game and try to keep up with everybody else that I was playing with, which is kind of like my kind of pitfall in a lot of MMOs is I want the social aspect. I want to play with my friends, but I'm also the type to not know life it anymore, so I always get left behind. Which results in me buying a boost and then end up doing end game content with people. But in this game, I just couldn't fucking turn it off. It was definitely one of those situations where I think this is the first time in gaming with you guys where I hit level, or at least the soft cap, before anybody else did. It's been the leveling process usually for me is super tough to get through, especially coming from Final Fantasy 14 where a lot of the A Realm Reborn stuff is storyline driven, but you also have to read a lot of fucking quest text. And I think what helped me get through that experience in this game is the voice acted bits of each quest giver, they speak to the important part. And then the rest of it's just kind of flavor text. So I wasn't really reading the text unless I was super interested in like a certain story arc. But for the most part, I was getting what I needed from their little bits of dialogue.
Yeah, they always have that initial sentence that kind of just explains what the concept is, the whole conversation, instead of reading the whole fucking thing.
Going back to what Pink said before we started recording, the way that the maps are laid out, it's super fluid and it pushes you in the direction that you need to go. I know a lot of people complain about fast travel in this game. I think it was a fucking godsend because if I had to run everywhere, I probably wouldn't have had as much fun with it.
Yeah.
I for sure would not have had this much
I
fun.
would have been so fucking annoyed. At least you get a mount like right out the gate, so that kind of helps. But there's a lot of like back and forth with the questing in this game. Like a lot of the in between story arc questing is a lot of run 10 feet between these two NPCs 3 or 4 times in a row, and then move on to the next section. So like if I had to like run across the map just to do that kind of a quest story, I would probably be aggravated by it. So I think the fast traveling, at least for me, is one of the more preferred methods. I know a lot of people are comparing it to the World of Warcraft grind, but I would say the difference between, at least in my opinion, between the World of Warcraft grind, low level leveling versus this game is in World of Warcraft, especially now in retail, it kind of seems like an afterthought. Like they don't really like tend to it anymore. It's just one of those things. It's a formality you have to go through to get to end game and start raiding and doing dungeons and shit. At least in this game, a lot of those lower level sequences, like the big battle of Lutera, even the stuff on the Makoko Islands, like a lot of those stories feel really good. And even if you just want to do like a 10 level sprint, you're going to get some really cool dungeons, some really cool cutscenes. Some of them are pretty cheesy, but it at least keeps the story fresh and it makes the leveling experience feel like you're actually progressing, unlike something like World of Warcraft or even Final Fantasy 14 for that matter.
I could definitely see that. I came into World of Warcraft like way late, like before the last expansion that just dropped is like when I kind of joined, and it was more of Corp just like power leveling me through. A lot of it I just blew past and stuff.
Scarlet Monastery
and
runs.
it
Oh
just
god, yes.
it wasn't like I didn't really get like the full experience of it, and with the questing and stuff, like a lot of it I just skipped in it, and this made it more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
And like that was like honestly pretty much my real first introduction in MMO until I played this, and I am having a lot more fun with this, actually progressing from the start.
Kind of to touch on the leveling questing. So I did watch a lot of the guides before obviously we started playing and stuff, and people were saying to level the fastest, to skip all the side quests and kind of just focus on the main quests instead. I don't know about you guys, but I don't feel like the side quests really kind of interfered.
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the ones where you're like running back and forth between NPCs, or the the one that everyone's complained about tonight was the old man who dropped his medicine and didn't want to pick it up.
It was like 2 feet away.
Yeah, like some of those
Yeah.
ones are a little like, obviously it's just a filler, but a lot of the I guess side quests to me still felt like they were
Kind of part
a part of
along-
the story of the region. And like that's kind of the cool
Yeah.
thing about this game is each region has its own little like
Story arc.
smaller story that's going
Yeah.
on. So to me, it feels like every time you would like go to a new section of the game, it felt like you were doing a beginning to end story. So like I didn't feel like they got in the way at all.
That Blue Terra. There's no end to that story.
Yeah, I mean, there's the big
Not yet.
battle. There's a final stand.
Yeah.
But I feel like that was like kind of the beginning to the main story anyway. So I'm sure it's gonna come up again.
Yeah, but all the side quests just were on the way to the next part of
Yeah.
the quest.
And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's like I don't understand what people were like Dark was saying, with the exception of the few little minor talk to these like 5 people for the next like 2 minutes. But even then, they really didn't feel like they took that long.
No, not for me. I mean, I don't think any of the leveling in any particular section felt like it drug along too long.
And that's the other thing that I
The
liked.
amount
I
of
feel like you
XP
just changed areas so quickly.
Yeah,
It
like,
kept it
I
really
think it took us
fresh.
realistically what 6
Honestly,
or 7 days.
Well, I think
'Cause,
we
like,
all
we
within
only
that
played-
40-hour mark right now, so it took us a work
Yeah.
week.
I'm at like 20.
Oh, see, like,
Yeah,
it-
Pink's been grinding his ass off.
and that's what I wanted to do this first run around. Is just kind of blow through it quick, get to
That
end
was
game.
probably the biggest like wake up call for me when I started playing this game. Was typically I would get to the point where I'm like maybe 2.5 bars away from leveling, and in something like WoW or Final Fantasy, I would grind it out by just mob killing. And in this game, killing mobs that aren't involved in your quest line don't give you XP. Like they give you like 1 or 2 XP at the
Yeah.
most.
Yeah,
not
it's
much
like
at all.
one. I think
So,
it
like,
is
it's
2
not even
XP
worth
per
it.
kill.
To grind it.
Yeah.
So what I would do is just focus on the storyline.
Now, of course, this is our take, at the beginning of the stages, so we don't know necessarily what it's going to be like at the end.
Yeah, we haven't done any post 50 content. Like I did the first scenario quest line in this new area. Basically, I got up to the first big dungeon, and then I waited for you guys to catch up. So, which you guys are almost at that point. I haven't wanted to proceed past that point. I've been focusing a lot on my stronghold, trying to understand all of the fucking like background systems in the game.
Yeah, the good thing with a lot of the stronghold and shit like that, I don't think for example, the stronghold, I don't think you need to like really do anything in there if you really want to. From what my understanding from it is, it's a good resource to have, but it's not something you're required to have. So like Pink, you're saying, you don't, this might be too much. You don't necessarily have to do anything with it. You can just completely ignore it.
What's cool though is you do get, pretty good bonuses and stuff. I mean, obviously the ability to craft your battle items and your potions and stuff like that is a huge plus. Because I think we're going to end up getting into the point where it hasn't really affected us right now, but
'Cause we're
there
getting
will
so
be a
much
point
potion
where
chops and
health
everything.
potions are going to be a concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we're getting so much in drops and everything as it is, because we're just kind of like mobbing everything out.
Because I was I was watching both Asmongold and Summit 1G play through some of the post 50 dungeons, like some of the chaos dungeons and stuff.
I'm just getting one
You
shot.
burn through your potions so fucking quick, dude. Both your potions and your fucking phoenix plumes. Granted, they both play berserker, so
Well, I could definitely see that from my class too. My class it lacks in health, really, in defense more.
yeah, you're
and
definitely
I do
a
more
glass
damage.
cannon.
As long
Well,
as I stay far away.
Yeah, that's who I am too. The bard is probably I was surprised by the bard because in a lot of other classes the bard is really just like a pure support class and also a archer in most games. One, I'm surprised it's a magic class, like a mage class, which I think Pink and I had this discussion when he first picked bard, but it makes sense because a lot of their shit is based around imbuing things with magic. Just one-on-one dueling his bard with my sharpshooter, I got fucking wiped, dude.
Yeah, from my
Bard is
understanding, he's got a lot of CC spells, right?
Yeah.
It's like almost like he has like a gravity well that just stun locks you in place, and then his fucking big ass music beam.
Oh, the
it just
laser.
melts you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's honestly how he got me when we dueled.
I feel like I will have a hard time against Corpse's class. He gets in your face and CCs you into the ground.
Well, you guys be CCing each other.
And then you have
only have
Deke's
level 6.
character that's, like you were saying, is a fucking glass cannon. I've seen the DPS that kid puts out, though. It is beastly.
Oh yeah.
But I am popping potions quite often.
I know for a fact that I don't have all my abilities yet because the
Wait, what?
sharpshooter has a snipe ability. I've seen people play it and use it in PvP and stuff, and I don't have that ability yet.
I think we unlock more abilities when
Yeah,
we
and
level
we
up.
also have our awakening abilities too.
Yeah, so I think
Which
there's
are,
still
like,
going to be a few
what the
more.
Secondary ultimates.
What the hell are those?
They sit, you know where your little icon to press B to switch to like your foraging tools and stuff are?
Yeah.
At some point, that's gonna move and it's gonna turn into an additional button that is our awakening ability, which is like a super move. Like I know one of mine is like a gigantic fucking twister.
You mean my ult's gonna be even more powerful than what I already
It's
have?
not gonna be your ult. It's gonna be something different. It's gonna be a separate ult,
It's almost like a second alt, yeah.
and we'll get 2 of those awakening abilities.
That's dope.
And I also started playing a Blade Master, which I think the Blade Masters are even better than Deke's class.
That's the other assassin class.
Yeah.
I will say
Saying
that
that
I
you
almost
picked the
went with
wrong
that one.
class.
the assassins are fucking strong early game. Like I wasn't getting touched at all.
See, I almost went with that, but I like the fact that I had like the demon spawn thing, so that's why I went with this one.
Mark, I know you're not a big fan of melee guys, but I really think you should try the Pally when you get a chance.
What do you mean? I'm playing a Blade Master and a Soul Fist. Those are both melee classes.
No, I'm talking about big lugs.
The problem with that is like every time I see a big sword wielding class, I think of Asmongold, and his sole reason for playing that class is like he thinks it's him, and like for me that weird like parasocial thing with your in-game class is kind of weird to me. When I play a fantasy game, I want to be like a fucking fantasy character, right? Like I can go swing a sword, probably not one as big as fucking the fucking berserker sword, but I don't know. The gameplay style to me seems very basic, and that's probably going to piss a lot of berserk players off, but to me it just feels like, you know, you don't do much. There's no like real mechanic, there's no
I actually
real
think the berserker is the one that's rated the easiest class out of
yeah, I
all
mean,
of them.
you're just like a big lug, right? Like you just run in full on head first into fucking battle, right? You know, even some of the Sorks and obviously the Bard, like a lot of those classes are interesting because in traditional MMOs, they're very stereotypical. But in this game, they're not.
I feel like
like
that
what
goes
Pink
for
was
pretty
saying.
much almost every class besides like the berserker and shit.
Yeah, for sure. Like even the Paladin, like you play that Paladin, that's not a traditional Paladin.
Oh no, it's weird.
Like-
That's what I kind of like about this game, that it's like it's not traditional in the sense of like it's, you know, coming from like WoW, for example. You know, your Pally's your tank or your healer, and in this case, it's really not. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do have a couple support spells and I think
Yeah.
one healing spell, but I'm DPS like everybody else. And I like that because I can play a support class, but I don't have to be the support to say.
Yeah, and like I don't have anything against Zerk players. You know, play what you want, do what you want to do. I just feel like if you're looking for, I guess, the opportunity to play something a little bit outside of your comfort zone or something just a little more interesting, whether that be from gameplay style or just like the aesthetics of it, then I think playing your base class, which is a berserker, isn't going to fulfill that for you. Like you can pretty much guarantee most people who look at the berserker can assume what the gameplay style is going to be like.
Oh yeah,
Surmise. Dark says, Berserker players, get good or go home.
All these top streamers are going to come for me now because that's all they play.
it is, man. It's insane the amount of berserkers there are in the
But I
streaming
mean,
world.
look, to like people like Asmongold and Summit 1G, like they play berserker because they openly say, I don't want too much responsibility. I don't want to have to think when I play. And fair enough. If that's your playstyle, that's your playstyle.
Oh.
Super in depth.
That was
Like,
fun.
I mean, if you ever played a Korean game or even like a Japanese RPG, the character creator is like one of the things they focus the most on.
Okay, I was gonna say
Now,
it does seem that way.
there's not a ton of diversity in their character models. So like
No.
there's a lot of like very fair Asian / Caucasian aesthetics. You can, in this game, luckily they have sliders, like facial sliders. So you can manipulate the face all you want to like make it, if you wanted to like put your likeness in the game or whatever. you're just gonna spend a lot of time fucking doing it. There aren't a ton of presets. I'm a character creating whore, so I spend like an hour my first session creating my characters. That's what I did when I hit 50. Is I went back and created my Blade Master, and the whole night that I was on with Deke and Pink, I was just creating my character while they were requesting.
My character customization is pretty important since I basically have no clothes.
Can I just say that one of the things that I love about this game is the seamless fucking cutscenes with your characters in it.
Yeah.
Dude,
I think
that's awesome.
the coolest part for me, some of these dungeons and raids have some of the coolest transitions. Like that sequence of Lutera Castle battle.
Oh my god,
where
yes, the Lord of the
camera
Rings
pans
battle,
away.
bro.
Yeah, dude, it was fucking sick. It was probably one of the funnest experiences I've had
Yeah,
in
dude.
these type of games.
And it's pretty cool how the camera like angle changes to, and you play that way in certain parts. Hey man, but I love the fucking spells in this game.
Yeah.
I feel
The
like
effects are super sick.
every
Dude. That's the whole
s-
reason why I picked Soulfist. That big ass fucking Buddha hand come from the sky.
yeah, dude. Every fucking spell's always feels heavy. Feels like there's actually some oomph behind it. Like nothing is fucking weak as shit in this game.
There's
And no matter what it is, what spell you do, you feel powerful as fuck casting it.
All right, guys. Well, that's gonna be it for us. Thanks for joining us in this, I guess, pseudo podcast. We're still playing it. We're still playing at the moment. That's probably why there's a lot of editing in this episode, because
Yeah.
we all have ACDC and we get distracted.
ACDC.
All right, guys. Well, check us out on our socials. We have a Twitter. We have a TikTok. We stream hopefully every Friday. I'll be streaming starting next Friday, now that I get my new computer this upcoming week. Check us out on YouTube. Give us a like, follow, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Also, check out Dubby Energy Drink. I'm sure Corp will put something, a bumper at the beginning or end. We have a link in the description. Get yourself some energy drinks, some hats, some stickers, whatever you want to do. Help support us, help support the channel, help support cool up and coming company. We'll check you guys later. Peace.
in the comments. Let us know if you've been thunderstruck.
Yeah, in the comments, let us know if you're a berserker and you want to fucking destroy me with your. Never mind, that sounds like I was gonna get sexual.
All right.
We'll see you guys later.
Bye, people.